KRVSR Productions. Once again, this is Kenny. How you doing? I've been wanting to address this one issue for a while now. The issue on racial tension. Understand, I'm going to touch on this, and later on through the week, we're going to touch on this again. Me and my producer are going to sit down and we're going to have a host and co-host conversation about this. We've been discussing this one for a while, only because of the fact that this country has been on this issue for a second now. What I'm going to say is this, is that I don't care about what anybody does, you know what I mean, or how you live your life, or, you know, whatever. It has nothing to do with me. I only care about how people treat me and how I see how other people treat other people. This is the problem. This is the problem with me. When you address racial tension, I feel in this country right now that the tension is only because it's been pointed at certain individuals, whether it be me, whether it be Caucasian people, black people, Mexicans, Romanians, whatever. It's like we're all here. But as far as a black man in the United States, it's like, how can a black man in the United States not be living with some sort of tension? And any one of them that says that they don't live with some sort of tension, I can tell you straight up that they're a liar. Because for one, the black man in America, or the black man period in this world, is the most hated man in the world. You know, no one's really trying to take the time to understand the black man. You have to understand, for 400 years, the black man was denied the privilege to read, worship, go to school, vote, live their own lives. We were cattle, we weren't people. And you have to understand that at the time when the Constitution was being written, it was not written for the black man. And through the years, through all that, it was like, you know, I have to explain to you that my father is actually African American, and also he's a Blackfoot Indian. My mother's an African American also. And the deal is that they raised us very well, and they taught us very well. My father would only tell us there's only one color in this world, and that's green. I'm just tired of people just, you know, thinking that black people are upset for no reason. That everything else that happened to everybody else was just as worse as what happened to the blacks in this country. We have been hung, we have been placed on fire, we have been chastised, we have been counted out. And still, after 400 years of slavery and then coming through what we had to come through, we're still here. We're still doing what we gotta do, but still people want to still act like we're the problem. When we helped build this country from the nothing that it was to the great country that it is, we have fought in every war. We have fought beside whichever soldiers you wanted to fight with. You have to understand, there were some wars that the soldiers didn't even want us next to them. If it was their choice, they probably would have shot us and just would have said it was a casualty of war. You know what I mean? My ancestors, for the women, were raped and pillaged. The men were also probably raped and somehow, you know, had the testicles cut off, hung at a tree and placed on fire. How do you think a man feels when he hears that a family member of his or an ancestor was hung? And only because of the fact that of the color that he was. And you're trying to say what is his issue, what is the tension is about? Everybody's always saying, well, you want to talk about slavery, let's just kick that to the curb. They don't say that to the Jews when they want to talk about the Holocaust all the time. And let me tell you something, the Holocaust was just in a matter of a decade or two. Slavery was for 400 years in this country, where we're standing today. We went through what we went through, we survived, and we're still surviving. That we should get points for something. You know, and we don't just have to be today. We don't just have to be sport players or or whatever, singers or dancers. Today we are presidents. We are generals in the army. We are people that run companies. We are volunteers. We're firemen. We're policemen. When a time, and you got to remember, there was a time in America that black people couldn't even walk on the sidewalk. So you ask about tension. What if your race was put into that position? What if you heard stories that your family here in the United States went through 400 years of brutal punishment? How would you feel? Don't you know that is almost like a genetic thing that a person goes through? That kind of tension that ran through the blood of my ancestors, that it would be somewhat embedded in the blood and the genetics of the makeup of this person? You have to understand, my ancestors didn't ask to come here. We were brought here by chains or whichever way, and we were brutally abused. So when you sit back and ask yourself the question, oh, why are these black people, or any names you want to put on black people, why are they like that? Because I know this for a fact. Any one of you guys, whether you're Polish, whether you're Irish, whether you're Puerto Rican, whether you're Chinese, you can always go back to your country and see a little bit of your ancestry. I don't know exactly where I'm from. I know I'm from Africa. I know I'm from somewhere out there, but I don't know exactly. Isn't that kind of like intense? Not to know. We're learning, but we came from various parts of Africa. But you being Irish or whatever, I can go back to Ireland and I can see, what I'm made out of. This is KRVSR Productions. If you like this pod, thank you. Please subscribe to our subscriptions. Sorry about that. It's a little bit tense right now. Have a nice day.